Oh, there's plenty to talk about on the Aces NFL show this week, but last week, likely, how was that not a touchdown, Sim? We're getting robbed every week. Unk's running touchdowns and we can't even beat the Steelers. Unbelievable. And more importantly, Phillip Rivers at 44 has returned to the Colts and your Eagles stink. What do you got for me?
I don't know. They're nowhere to be seen. But I tell you who is nowhere to be found right now, Justin Jefferson. I go in depth about this. Can't wait to talk about it. What else you got, Tommy?
He gets heated as well. Oh, we talk about all the big games. We've got the Bills, the Pats, the Ravens and Bengals with season on the line. We've even got the Broncos hosting the Packers and the blockbuster, the Rams versus the Lions. I mean, the AFC and NFC is just heating up. It's amazing. Week 15, not long to go. If you're in fantasy, congratulations. Me and Siposs on bloody holidays. I'm running out of words. Tune in, big show. Welcome back to the Aces NFL show, powered by PointsBet. We are joined by Aaron Siposs, the pro down at Pro Kick Australia, the former NFL punter, former AFL player, former absolute superstar, and a former Philadelphia Eagle who defends them week in, week out. And I can't wait to pepper him. There's a few Chargers fans in the comments and DMs, Sip, and they said, eat on that, which I can't believe, by the way, because I don't know how they lost that game. We could probably talk about it off the top. If Philly's D can only lose by 3 after all the turnovers, I actually think it's still positive there. It's still a chance because they couldn't have done much more, that defense. And the Eagles, that offense.
It's what happens when you hire a passing coordinator as an OC. They don't know how to run the ball. So we'll move on.
Oh, there you go. I don't think the OC's the issue. I think it might be the quarterback.
There is a bit more to it, isn't there, to be honest, Tommy? It's probably not just the OC's fault. The O-line is genuinely struggling right now. Jalen is definitely at an all-time career low. They are quite disconnected as a group. The defense can only hold up for so long, and it is starting to slip away from them. They'll still probably finish as the number 1 seed in the division, but it could all fall very, very quickly if they do not pick it up in the coming weeks. And it is a real struggle. And without Jalen Carter as well, I don't think it's going to get any easier anytime soon. But they need to figure something out because that was a horrible game to watch.
It certainly was, for all kinds of reasons. Under a roof, we should see more points and more tuds. Look, we're going to spend more time on the preview, but we've just released our NFL Fantasy Playoff show, and we have some special guests this week, and I will reveal it on this show that Cam Munster and Joe Watson will be joining us for week 1 of playoffs, and they're going to break down some things that have happened this year, some people that can't win, a lot of banter. Just make sure you go check that out if you love your NFL and you want to get a little bit more insight into our fantasy league. It's a lot of fun, and Regan Bayless cops a couple of strays, I must say, so we'll have to get him on next week. Let's dive straight in. Right, week 14 review. We've both got one thing we want to talk about, and then we're going to get straight into the 2-minute drill, and then we've got a few other things before we get to week 15 preview. But here's a quick rundown. Patriots have 11 wins. Cowboys are 500. Joe Flacco is slinging it. There's drama in Philly. Matthew Stafford is a stud. Seahawks defense is nasty. Aaron Rodgers is the 4 seed. The Chiefs are mid. The Browns and Raiders are eliminated, and the Jets are still the Jets. Your childhood ain't over yet. That was something I read online. But there was one thing I missed at the top. Phil Rivers. Philip, he's back in the building at the Colts. He's 44 years old. He has 10 kids.
Oh, he's got 10 kids, so he needed a bit of extra cash, I reckon, to get the flow back.
He's sitting above Stafford on the most passing yards of all time, and he said, hang on a second, you're not passing me. He's come out of retirement, and he runs the same offensive scheme as the Colts.
At his high school team or something, isn't it?
Yeah, with his son's high school side. And he's 4 years older than the head coach at the Colts.
That's great. And they know each other from the Chargers way back. So he was the offensive coordinator at the Chargers on Say and Strike. And so he's got him on board.
Oh my God.
His arm's just a little bit lower now. If you saw him throwing earlier today, it's gone from being up here just a little bit lower and just slinging it out the side genuinely.
I must say, though, I'm very... So Shedeur Sanders, he excites me. I probably should have mentioned that. 360 passing yards, 3 tuds, and a rushing tud. I don't think anyone's ever done it in the history. And we'll talk about Coach Stefanski later with my take. But now we get the excitement of watching a 44-year-old return to the NFL.
Is he actually going to play?
He has to. They've got no one
They
else.
don't, do they?
And I want to ask you a quick question before we move on, but how do you think he's going to go against the Seattle Seahawks? And how do you think he'll go for the Colts? Because they have a great O-line. I actually went and watched some highlights last night. He played with a bung ACL, PCL, or MCL, or whatever it was in a championship game. So he's tough, and he doesn't get out of the pocket. So they're going to protect him. So I actually think handing the ball to JT and getting back and hitting these amazing receivers that he has, I actually am quite excited to see him get to work.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah, you're a bit stiff coming up against a Seahawks defense who's absolutely lighting it up right now. So that will be an interesting one to watch. But I don't know, he might surprise a few. I don't know if he's got the deep ball in that him anymore.
Surely you don't lose the deep ball.
I mean, maybe one deep ball here and there to let it rip. It's going to be a fascinating watch. So it's going to be very, very exciting. Let's just see what happens. Tune in.
I'll be tuning in. I'm just glad he's playing the Seahawks. Yeah. They're gonna just smoke him, but not smoke him, but they'll probably contain and not let him have too many explosive plays. I'm so excited for that.
Great.
Let's get into your hot take to start us off before I get into what I want to talk about. The Bucks losing. You have a bit to talk about here.
Yeah, that's really disappointing, isn't it, in the end? I mean, you're coming up against a Saints team that's pretty depleted, not much to play for. The Bucks have a lot to play for. Carolina are absolutely licking their lips right now going, how good is this? You've just blown a massive chance. I know... Yeah, conditions were a little bit slippery and things like that, but you can't lose games like that towards the end of the season, which is a really, really critical time. The Saints defense stood up and found a way. It was quite incredible to watch, but keeping Baker Mayfield to 122 yards total passing is a very, very good effort. And again, I know the weather was a little bit, favored to rushing, but in the end, when you're stopping him, you're doing something right. But ultimately, I'm bitterly disappointed in the Bucks' performance because now it's opened the gap immensely, and it's very, very exciting now. The NFC South now with the way the Carolina Panthers are playing some really good ball right now, and I think they're scheduled to play each other actually again. So it's going to be on. Whoever gets that is clearly going to be the number one seed in that division. But the Bucks. You were very, very disappointing on the weekend. You need to bounce back in a big way.
Well said. Well said. I'll tell you who needs to bounce out of the arena and maybe out of the franchise, out of the NFL. Coach Stefanski. I mean, how dare you take Sanders off the field after he balls out, gets you back in it. Yes, he throws a pick late, but he balls out at home, and you come in and play a trick play on a 2-point conversion. Look, I've watched that back 5 times. The trick play probably would have worked. It would have worked. If Judkins had just thrown it to the guy, I think they score. So, yes, it's there. But what do you get out of it, Sip? What do you get out of the growth out of your young quarterback, the team that you are meant to be coaching forward? That just tells me he's not going to be there next year. There's no way known he makes that decision knowing that he is going to have Sanders there next year and he's going to be coaching. That is just a simple, I'm not folding. I don't like him. And I've gone and had a look on the internet. There's a feud between Kevin Stefanski and his father-in-law back in the day, I think it's the late great Tim McCarver.
Wow.
Deion Sanders, the old man, tipped a bucket of ice water on him after a game. I think he was a reporter or something. Anyway, so Kevin Stefanski's married to Michelle McCarver. I don't know how to say it, but that's how it's said. Anyway, I've looked this up, and I reckon he does not like Deion Sanders.
Wow.
And I reckon he's treating Shedeur Sanders like meat because of this drama.
Wow.
And it's starting to make a lot of sense to me. I saw Sanders didn't get the game ball after his first win against the Raiders.
That was putrid.
He brings the game back to 2 points with a late drive, runs it in. There's a minute to go. All they need is a 2-point conversion, and he takes him off the field. And the way he talks about him in the press, he doesn't give him anything.
Yeah.
And I just think he hates him. He hates the family, and it's ugly, and it's really ugly.
Yep.
And Sanders is a very talented quarterback, and I'm actually loving the way he's holding himself up in press conferences. They're trying to stitch him up, but Kevin Stefanski needs to go. He needs to leave the Browns organization. I should take back what I said at the start. He doesn't need to leave the NFL, but he needs to leave the Browns and let someone else take over, because I think his time's done. And if Myles Garrett wants to see some success, I think they need to wrap themselves around Sanders and get a new coach and someone like a Vrabel, who they had in their building last year, to take that group forward. So that's my take, Sip. I thought it was the most disgusting thing I'd seen in a long time. Probably as disgusting as the late call against Likely and the Raiders and against the Steelers. How was that not a touchdown, Sip? Did you think that was a touchdown?
Absolutely,
you played the game.
Absolutely. I looking at it and I got home and I watched the replay again and the highlights, and I couldn't believe that wasn't called a touchdown. I was shocked. I was sitting next to my lovely wife, and I was like, they called that a no touchdown, and she was actually watched it a little bit at home. She was like, yeah, they actually did. I was like, that's it. That is shocking. That is a really. I'm probably going off a bit off topic here, but I am actually sick and tired of the refs having a play on the game. I'm so sick and tired of it. We saw it with that game. We saw it on Friday's game with Dallas and Detroit, that Ferguson offensive pass interference. Game's on the line, running the great drive down there to actually tie the game up. Just, it's really frustrating me at the moment that referees are getting involved in these games at critical times, and it's changing seasons.
AJ Brown's touchdown. There wasn't much from Jordan Mailata at all.
It's shocking. It really is annoying, man. There are critical times of the game where scores you're either getting in front and there's different play calling involved and everything after that. I just think they need to realize that they're having more of an impact than ever before, and sometimes they just need to put it away. Otherwise, there needs to be ways to be able for coaches to be able to call them out, overturn things that need to be turned over. But it's becoming a bit too much right now for me, and it's having a massive effect on games.
Well said. It certainly is. I won't get on a ref route because I'll get too angry. Let's move on. It's a 2-minute drill. This is where aces get involved. Thank you so much to everyone that consistently writes in so they can pepper Sip with the 2-minute drill. That'll be a little bit quicker. Here we go. You ready, Sip?
Mm-hmm.
Monkey Brennan. Cowboys are winning the East. Eagles are cooked.
No.
Richie Mathers. AJ Brown takes 100 yards over winning every day of the week.
Looks to be that way.
Lucas Caff. Jags are playing in the Super Bowl.
No.
Ben Roberts. Kelsey thinking about his wedding rather than playing ball. Chiefs done. See you later.
Yes, they are done.
Alex Young. Niners get the 1 seed and Fred comes back for the Super Bowl.
Wow. I don't mind that.
You don't believe that, though.
No, I don't. I want to believe it because of how much you don't like the 49ers.
I don't not like them. I just don't know how they're doing with that.
You've written them off for a while now, and that would be pretty exciting to see.
Tell you what, they would win the Super Bowl if they had their defense. That's how good they're going.
Yeah.
Jed Millard, I'd rather watch Pee Wee football than Hurts and Herbert on prime time.
You were better off watching the Monsters Inc. telecast on the other side, I reckon.
Can you imagine watching that on some mushrooms? Imagine the mushrooms or something on that.
It glitched on the 2 fumble play or something. It was absolutely fantastic, but I tend to agree. That was a shocking game.
It was glitching because of the turn. They'd never seen a quarterback turn the ball over twice on the same play. Geez. There's that much action going on there. I just thought, I thought someone in America is watching that stoned off their head. You know how Americans love getting on the weed and having a great day going, there's another
the weed gummies are no tomorrow.
They love it over there, don't they?
Love it.
Oh, very good. Maxie Webster, the Texans have the best defense in the league.
Yeah, I think they do.
Would you take Texans or Seahawks?
I'd take the Texans right now.
Big call.
Yep.
Richie N5, Jalen squirts. Wow.
Oh,
I'm reading these for the first time, Sip. Sean Riley, Ravens won't win another game this year.
No, disagree. They will.
Tom Barnes, Puka is the best wide receiver in the league.
Proving to be that way.
Well, here we go. The last one. What do you think Tyler Hinbrain's going to mention? Who do you think he's going to talk about?
Something about his boy. Something about his boy. Yeah.
Drake May lost to the Raiders this year. Bo Nix has beaten the Raiders twice this year, so he's twice as good as Drake May. Hashtag Bo Leave. It's a sick unit, this bloke. Tyler Hinbrain's a sick unit. He's one of those blokes at the bedroom. His posters would be Bo Nix.
100%. I reckon his room is blue and orange and Bonix all over the place. Good on you, mate. I love it.
There you go. That's a 2-minute drill. Thank you to everyone that wrote in, except for one of the guys here, Sean Riley. Ravens won't win another game of the year. You can have this spell, son. You can have this spell. All right, here we go. It's time for a new segment, Sip's Diary. It's week 15, and we're going to open up the diary, and we're going to revisit when Sip played NFL. Talk to me. Week 15, what stood out for you in your career?
Cold. Very, very cold. Up in the northeast there. I remember specifically we actually had New York 2 weeks in a row. Then we played Washington. We had a couple of games at home in between with the Saints and another team that I can't remember, maybe the Cowboys. And I swear, just for 7 weeks in a row, it was just cold. I don't think anything above 3 degrees.
Ooh, that's fresh.
Yeah, it was fresh. And just in my first season, just to really put a cap on it, a bit of cherry on top, I had my firstborn child, so I'm sleep deprived, cold weather, and it's just a different ball game, isn't it? It impacts it immensely. It really, really does. The run game definitely gets involved a little more. So hopefully that's good for the fantasy owners. That they need to take a consideration of that one. But yeah, I mean, naturally, just ball's not traveling as far. Cold conditions are really just affecting everything. You saw the snow games, a couple on the weekend that just changes the dynamic. Wet weather comes in. It breeds a little bit of ugly football in the end. So the team that's willing to protect the ball a little bit more and look after it a little bit more, you'll generally find are going to win the games, particularly towards the back end of the year. So, there was obviously a very, very critical thing when I was there at Philadelphia that our head coach thought was there was 2 key things: explosive plays. If you can get some explosive plays in the cold weather, well, you're going to go a long way to win the game, and win the turnover battle. And the turnover battle, obviously, the less you have, the more likely, obviously, you definitely hold onto the ball a lot more, and the more likely you are to win the game as well. So they were 2 critical parts, and all I remember is just cold, boring games. Giants was 13-7. Washington was 20-16. Like, they're just not high-scoring games, and you just need to look after it as best you possibly can.
There you go. For anyone that's going to power up the points bet app, you need to just go more rushing yards, explosive plays, and turnovers.
Yep, exactly. It happens. We've seen it. We've seen it already.
There you go. This is something we're going to do every week. Sip's going to get back in the diary and talk about something that happens in each week as we get closer to the playoffs, because he's been there and he's done it. Thanks for sharing that, Sip. Right, it's time for your biggest disappointments of the year, Week 15 edition.
Well, I'm sorry to say it, Tommy, but I'm going to have to go to the jersey that you're wearing.
You can't go here.
Yes, I can, and I'm going to. The Ravens, I know, you have had injuries everywhere. Defense, offense, the inconsistency of guys being on the park. But you are an organization that expects to go out there and perform in big games, control that division, and it just hasn't happened for you. And when you've got a guy that's 42 years old that's able to still knock you off, and you can't protect the deep ball very, very well with a DK Metcalf who has been struggling, and then he puts up 150 against you, I think that kind of proves how your season's gone. And I know Tommy's looking at me very, very funny right now, but you expected to dominate that. You expected to dominate that division again. And yes, you're still there. Don't get me wrong, you are still there. But you should be in a position right now where you're 3 or 4 games clear and you're absolute cruise control with 4 rounds left, knowing that you want to be a number 1 seed or a number 2 seed. You, to me, are the best team on paper in the AFC. You are. But you have not been able to run the ball as well as what you'd like. Derrick Henry is not the same player as what he was last year. Mate, it's not just him, there's area, but Lamar Jackson is a shell of himself. He has been disappointing, and you damn well know it. He has been a disappointment. He's been throwing that ball and getting better with these deep balls every single week, every single year, and this year has not been the case. Something's going on with him. I'm not sure what it is, but the Ravens are my disappointment so far of 2025.
Whack. There you go. Well, you can't. I'm not going to fight you back yet. I'll wait till they absolutely smoke the Bengals.
I know they're not over, but I definitely expected them just to be primed up there, 3 games clear, happy days, not worried about Aaron Rodgers and all his bullshit, but obviously not the case right now.
I shot myself in the foot, Sid. Who did I have a go at last week? Arthur Smith?
Yeah, you did.
I said he hasn't had an explosive play all of November.
Yeah,
He comes out and throws a 52-yard bomb to DK Metcalf in the first quarter, and all of a sudden we're on the back foot, and I'm going, they haven't had an explosive play for a month, and they choose to do it against the Ravens, and not only did they do it, they did it. He did it like 3 times. DK went for 148, averaging 21.1 per catch. They hadn't had a 20-yard pass in November. And Aaron Rodgers, when he ran one in, I felt sick. I said, we can't let the old fossil run one in. I mean, he's a superstar. I love watching Aaron Rodgers. Don't get me wrong.
Legend.
But to allow him to, I think it was his first this season as well. It was hard to watch. You know what? I'm just going to cop it on the chin. But the one thing I did like was we changed it up last week. We on your right shoulder. I don't know who did Herbert, but the Chiefs will win this week because every time because whoever's behind Sip has no luck. And last week it was Chicago Bears. The week before that it was Derrick Henry, and I thought Derrick Henry looked good. And I tell you one thing, we're going to get into the preview soon, but the Bengals are the worst run D outside of the Giants in the league. So if you want to bounce back, you give the ball to the King Henry and let him go.
They stuffed you a couple of weeks ago, I'll tell you that, so you might want to lift.
I was going to go with my biggest disappointment of the year, but I think there's no real point talking about Atlanta because I'm going to talk about them in a second. So I'll leave them alone. I'm going to just go straight onto your hot take with Justin Jefferson because I'm keen to fight back on you with this. But you've got a really hot take on Justin Jefferson before we get into a Thursday night football giveaway that we're going to organise courtesy of the NFL Australia.
Well, we know how good JJ is, right? We know that. Him and Jamar Chase are probably been the two best wide receivers in the last 4 or 5 year period. No question. You go draft a quarterback with your 10th overall pick 2 years ago, hoping to build that special relationship, knowing that you've already got a legitimate wide receiver that you can give it to at any time, and you are wasting him. You are wasting him. I'm not saying it's all on JJ himself. I'm saying the system that he is in, he has been completely wasted right now. On the weekend, 2 catches for 11 yards. The week before, 2 catches for 4 yards. He's had 15 yards total in the last 2 weeks. He hasn't had an 80-plus receiving yard game since week 5. Week 5. And do you know who is his quarterback? Carson Wentz was.
Wow.
JJ, you need to sort yourself out. McCarthy to start off with. He needs to sort himself out. Throw your deep ball. But you, Kevin O'Connell as well, you are completely wasting the best talent you have on your offense. And if you're not going to use him, tell him to go because you are wasting the most special player in the wide receiver area or even on the offense, to be honest, in general. We have seen catches that are out of this world. His one-hander a couple of years ago in Buffalo was crazy. Win that game. We know what he is capable of doing. Make him part of your freaking offense. It's an absolute joke. You can't tell me that he comes up against a team and, yep, they win 31-0. Good, all well and good. And he comes out and says, yeah, I'm happy winning if I don't get, even if I don't get targets, I'm happy winning. Bullshit. You can't tell me that is true. You are too good of a talent. You should be going in there and going, I demand this ball. I deserve more. You should be getting at least 10 targets a game. I don't care. Is it Jefferson or is it McCarthy? It's probably a combination of both. But it's actually Kevin O'Connell too. You are meant to have this great offensive mind, which you do, but where is it? Where is it gone? I don't know. And you need to find a way to figure it out because if you're not going to use him, it's similar to Max Crosby at the Raiders. You're just wasting a special talent that deserves way more than what he is getting right now. And if you're not going to use him, just move him on. Put him into a trade. Someone else is going to take him in a heartbeat, and he will get 8 targets, 10 targets, 12 targets every single week. Him and Jamar Chase will be trying to go for the triple crown every single year. But it's not good enough in my opinion. Something needs to change. And if he doesn't get his 10-plus targets this week, I'll be totally shocked because you winning 31-0 and it sounds exciting, but people go and pay money to watch Justin Jefferson catch the ball anywhere on the field, and in particular in the end zone. So it's time for him to get going. It's time for the Minnesota offense to find him a lot more because you're wasting his talents and it's not good enough.
Oh, I love it, Sip. Let's fucking go. Let's go. You know who he's playing this week? Here we go. He's playing the Cowboys, and I've never seen more wide receivers get yards and touchdowns against his secondary. So let's just quickly put it on you. We're going to talk about these games now, but what's a pass mark for you to not get too angry next week?
80.
80 in
Has
a tud?
has to get 80 in a tud against that
How
second.
many targets? 10?
At least. Just throw him the ball. You can't tell me on 4 targets.
4 targets last
Four
week.
targets, 6 the week before. Like, come on.
Yep.
Like, come on.
Really well
JJ
said.
McCarthy, just save your troubles and go to the best guy on your team and give him a chance.
You know what I'll be doing? I'll be showing him Flacco when he went to the Bengals and just peppering
100%.
Chase. And
Just
watching
do it.
Chase just make plays.
Yep.
Well said, mate. I'm not going to add anything to it because you nailed that one and I'm excited. Let's talk about prime time. We're going to do a giveaway. We might do 2, but we're going to start with the first one. We'll let you know what we do with the prime time Miami game against the Puke Steelers that I need Miami to win. Right. This is how it's going to work. Bijan Robinson, we're going to get you to guess his rushing yards. Right? Guess Bijan Robinson's rushing yards against the Bucks, and you will take home a $100 voucher courtesy of NFL Australia. You can shop online with NFL Australia. You can go online and get yourself an early Christmas present, but you need to be closest to the pin. And in case there's a tie, we would like you to put your longest rush in brackets. So that is our default. So if there's 2 people that guess, say, the same number that he gets, well, we're going to look at who's the closest for his longest rushing yard.
Love it.
And that's how we're going to decide the winner. So get online. We're going to let that. It's going to be on social media, which is Instagram. So get around ausmericanaces on Instagram. A lot of you people watching or listening, make sure you head to Instagram and the competition will be there. And we'll enjoy our Thursday night football, which is obviously Friday, 12:15 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Sip, this is a good game. Atlanta at Bucks. I've actually studied, for some reason, I've studied this one and the Ravens one the most. And I've looked into it because I think both teams have lost 4 out of the last 5. They're both going shithouse. And if I thought about both teams, I actually think the offense is going a little bit better at the Falcons. Now, it might sound silly. If you just take last week away, the Seahawks are legit. They've just ruined a lot of teams. I mean, look at the Vikings. Vikings were shut out. Next week, they score 31. So this team, I just think they can score. And the Bucks, they traditionally give a fair bit up in the secondary. Now, the other things I've looked at is the Falcons, they've allowed 24 points in 6 of the last 7 games. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they've allowed 24 points. And they've also allowed 2 of 3 in the red zone, 5-11 on third down. So the problem between these 2 teams is third down offense.
Yeah.
They've been really poor,
Yep.
but they're both allowing a lot on defense. So what I think, and I hope, it's going to be a high-scoring game. When I say high-scoring, it ain't going to be what you just said with Week 15. They're going to be at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It was very wet against the Saints. And there's talks of Mike Evans maybe back.
Yep.
I would look at that because, you know, if Baker Mayfield is down, if you watched the replay last week, Emeka Egbuka, geez, I'm mad, that one. Emeka Egbuka, he's dropped a couple sodas, but he's dropped a really crucial touchdown last week, and I reckon Baker's going to throw it to Mike Evans around the red zone. And the guy that I reckon it's never been more Stewie Jew is Kyle Pitts.
Oh.
He's really got going in the offense. He's getting a lot of yards. He's looking fantastic, mind you, without Drake London.
Yep.
So if Drake London is or isn't there, I reckon he's earned the trust of Kirk for a tud. I reckon a couple, was it last year? It might have been National Tight End Week. I'm positive he scored 2 against Tampa Bay. So I'm declaring Kyle Pitts will score a tud. I have this feeling, Sid. I have this feeling. And I'm looking there. I'm looking there. And I actually wouldn't be surprised, and I'm not going to be doing it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Atlanta knocks off Tampa Bay. There's something about the Panthers going on this run and winning the division. And this game, I reckon, is if the Bucks don't win it, I reckon the Panthers could run away with that division. And, you know, I feel like the Falcons, they've got no point losing because their first round pick goes to the Rams. So they're going to fight it out. Their coach is going to have to scrap and they're going to need to respond. I'm actually going to go for the Falcons, believe it or not, Sid.
Wow.
I'm going to put my plums on the line and say Kyle Pitts tud, Falcons win, and I reckon Kirk can get it done with the pass game against this defense. They give it up all the time.
Nice.
I'm praying there's no weather, but that's me.
Yeah, no, I think it's. I think the weather's actually meant to be quite good. 13 degrees, so a nice balmy night actually in Florida, which is great. So a lot on the line. There's a lot on the line. The Bucks are severely out of form, as you said. They need to get going here. There's a lot to play for. They need to find a way to get their offense going again. That's what used to be the special thing about the Bucs earlier in the year. We could go anywhere and go Buck Irving. Oh, Baker's going to sling it. Like they've lost that a little bit. And again, injuries can hinder that. Weapons out on the field has definitely hurt Baker. But they need to bounce back here. So I expect them to win at home. They normally have a pretty good record against the Falcons, and I think that continues. So they should be able to get it done. But I do like your Kyle Pitts play because he has been getting a lot more targets, which has been good to see. And he should be an important part to their offense. So I'm excited for this game.
Love it, mate. Well, I've got a little special as well on the PointsBet app on the ausmericanaces hub. Sip, your bets are still to come. But I've got Bijan Robinson to have more receiving yards than rushing yards.
Wow.
We did it last week with Gibbs.
Yep.
He was 550 and he hit easily. And he's paying $9. And they've got great run there.
They do.
Traditionally.
They do traditionally, yep.
And I reckon, if London's not there, they're going to have to use Bijan a lot.
Yep.
And they only need one screenplay. So it's that, or you got the Trains play call, which is a 25-yard reception and a receiving tud. And you get $11. There's a few other specials there up there. Check them all out, including our best bets for the game. We love our primetime games. And again, get online, ausmericanaces Instagram. You can get yourself a $100 voucher and you can shop the NFL shop. And if you can guess how many rushing yards Bijan Robinson has, and in brackets, put his longest rush in case it's a draw. All right, let's fly through. All teams off by fantasy playoffs. If you're not in bye or you're not in the bottom 7, it is all happening, Sip. So let's fly through. You know what I love doing? Listening to our podcast on Wednesday to review our work. And last week, do you know what we missed out on?
No, what did we miss out
We
on?
said the Buffalo Bills tight ends are going to smoke the Bengals. And we completely forgot to clip it.
Knox and Kincaid had a field day.
Both scored touchdowns, both went off, and we forgot to clip it up.
Yeah, we did, and we should have. You
And
are
it was
right.
super disappointing.
And the Ravens are back again, so watch out.
Yeah. So let's make sure we just take note of what we said. But we also, I think I said something silly as well, and I won't bring that one up, which is Dallas might win the Super Bowl. Still think they can win the division, man. All right, let's fly. Browns, Bears. I will let you go here. The main thing here is Sanders and Williams, two young studs, and it could be fun.
Yeah, I think it could be fun as well. I think the Bears should win this comfortably. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? Number 1 seed last week, they lose, and now they're 7th. So there's a bit on the line here for him still. It's nuts, but they should bounce back. It was a tough game against the Green Bay Packers, another very, very good team. So they should be able to do it. The Browns gave up a little bit on the offense last week. They found some holes. They've been pretty sturdy on their defense, and that's been the area that's keeping them in games. And if the Bears can expose that, which they have a brilliant head coach that should be able to do that, the run game might be a big part of the way they go about their business. So I'd be looking at Swift. I'd be looking at Monagai. That's his name, isn't it?
I'm still trying to work it out.
And so those two guys on the ground, I think, would be very, very important. Minus 11, by the way. So expect to see the run game starting to happen, and the Bears should be able to get it done for me pretty comfortably.
Browns run D's pretty good.
That's what I'm saying.
But
so
last week got exposed.
And copycat league, you'd like to think that Ben Johnson is looking at those plays very closely and figuring out ways to be able to expose it even more.
Myles Garrett, 20 sacks. He's behind me. His jersey's behind me. You can see it.
Oh, he's going to break it. He's going to break it. He's a special talent. Yeah.
There it is. I got it there.
Yep.
Myles Garrett, baby.
Right there.
Does he get a sack this week? Quick question.
Yes.
I don't think he does.
He does.
O-line stands
No, he gets one.
I'm looking forward to seeing this Jerry Jeudy. We said it last week and we got it. You know what? We normally do our explosive plays.
Yeah.
By the way, we did it for Saquon.
We did.
Longest rush, and he hit the $8 50-yard.
Very happy with the Jerry Jeudy at 450. I was very happy with that.
Jerry Jeudy with the explosive play.
Yeah,
so the Browns, they gave up some explosive plays last week. So I'm looking forward to seeing. My season's done. So DJ Moore, watch him explode.
Oh.
Watch him explode while I don't need him. You just watch. So DJ Moore, Roma Dunze missed last week. I'm looking forward to seeing something in the pass game. Benny Johnson, please.
Yep.
Right, let's move on because I've done a lot of research, and this is the biggest game of the week. My boys taking on
I'll let you take it.
All right, Ravens at Bengals. This is what's going to happen. This is just the quick stats. Ravens, run D, pretty good. Bengals run D, horrific. Derrick Henry, big tick this week. Huge tick. Ravens pass D, really poor. They've allowed Unk last week to just explode. They kept him to 30-odd, 40-odd rushing yards, but they couldn't stop anything in the pass game. So Jamar Chase had a stinker last week. Higgins, huge. Don't know whether he's playing. He hit his head, but he come back out. So I think he would pass that concussion protocol. But Jamar Chase traditionally eats. So he's a big tick this week.
Yep.
So Chase tick, Derrick Henry tick.
Yep.
Keaton Mitchell went off last week, so stay away. The other thing is the tight ends against the tight ends against the Bengals.
Just go with trends.
They just eat. And
Yeah.
there's a guy that I reckon is now, likely he's played well. He scored 2 tutties after the fact. He's honestly on fire since we needed him on Thanksgiving. But we watched Andrews. He was so open against the Bengals last time. It was ridiculous.
He could have had 90 himself that game.
He could have had that one play that went for 60.
Yep.
So I actually think there's a play here for our listeners and viewers that on the hub we might do an explosive play. But Mark Andrews is someone that I'm looking to. So huge tick on the tight ends and season on the line.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about the matchup. The Ravens have a hard run home. I think we have Patriots and Green Bay, and then we play Steelers at Steelers. This has to be a win. So for Ravens fans, this is do or die. But then for Bengals, they have to win out. So this is a playoff game. I'm so excited. I'm so nervous. The bookies have us at $1.70. So PointsBet, they've got us at $1.70, which the last couple of weeks have had us at $1.20, $1.30, and we're getting rolled. Look, Ravens, because of the run game, and I think Lamar, the reason Lamar's not playing as well is the O-line isn't protecting him.
No.
If you think of Lamar, he used to be able to dance around and then he'd just jump into another pocket and then he'd sling it. He's just getting sacked and he's not allowed to sit in there and it's taking his eyes down the field, away. So Flowers has been good, but the Bengals don't allow you too many explosive plays to wide receivers. That's the other thing. Flowers this week, like on matchups. They don't allow much to the receivers.
Yep.
They allow everything through the middle of the field. Yep. So I'm looking forward to seeing Lamar use his legs. He's going to use his. The last week was the first week he ran the ball.
I think he needs to.
He has to.
Yeah, I think he has to.
Josh Allen last week, what did he do?
Yeah,
40-yarder.
Yep,
So
40-yarder.
Lamar's going to have opportunities, and I
to.
reckon you're going to see him use his legs. So I'm tipping the Ravens to win this one with Lamar's legs and their tight ends and Derrick Henry. Great. And I reckon Chase will probably have 130 receiving yards because they're playing from behind.
That's fine by me. That sounds like a good game of football to me, so that's good.
All right. Let's go. Let's fly. Chargers, Chiefs. Season on the Chiefs are kind of cooked, but this is still this will be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
I think Chiefs will win.
I think they do too
because Herbert's behind you.
Yeah, I love it. I agree. I'm happy with that too. I think the Chiefs get it done. I think they'll be fine. Yep.
They need to bounce back. I don't have much for you, but I think the thing with the Chargers is they allowed a little bit from the run game with Saquon Barkley last week. So that's
one
something
big explosive play. Wide receiver though, AJ still, had his 100. So, maybe someone like a Rasheed Rice can get going, or maybe Worthy. They got part of the game a little bit, 55. So can we just start to increase that a little bit more? That would be really nice. But I think the Chiefs at home.
Game of the week potentially, maybe one of Bills at the Pats.
This is big.
How big is this?
This is big. Bills need to win this game to, stay in the division. If they lose this, I think it's all said and done. You're 0-2 against the Patriots if you lose this one. So I think that that all but eliminates them out of winning the number 1 seed for the division. And this has got excitement all over it. I think it's Patriots off the bye, so a little bit fresher at home. But the Bills you can never just knock them out, can you? Cook might be a little bit of a struggle. Patriots run D has been really, really good all year. So I don't know if James Cook is going to be the answer. It's gonna be on Josh Allen's arm and who he can get it to in his wide receiving corp or the tight end position. Having Kincaid's a massive, massive win, getting him back. He looked like he got through unscathed last week, which was good. But you're going to be relying a lot on Josh Allen in both passing and using his legs, I think, to be able to get them over the line. But this should be an absolute cracking game.
Stephon Diggs exploded in this matchup last week. Look for them to probably fix that. He obviously loved playing them last time. I think he went for 120.
Yeah, he had a few
No
a game.
tud though, but
Team, why not?
I really like. I don't know why, but in fact, PointsBet agrees that the Bills are just favoured.
Yep.
I think the Bills can go on a bit of a run here.
Yeah, I think they can too.
They're starting to stand out as a clear favourite for mine.
Yeah.
If they can tighten up that defense. This should be points, though. I think this could go up and down. 2 passing tutties for both quarterbacks doesn't feel like a stretch at all.
No, not at all. It's good.
Match up there for me. I reckon Henderson. If I'm Joe Watson, I think they allow so many explosive plays.
Run D's the issue for the Bills. They need to get that covered before the playoffs, or else that will be their kryptonite.
Henderson, look out. All right, Commanders at the Giants. Really bad loss for Commanders last week. They're 3-10, Giants 2-11. How much do you want to fight it out? You might lose your draft picks. I just think
is out, so that's
well,
one.
they probably play better without him at the moment. I
think they just need to put him away and just worry about next season for him. So, but yes, I think he is out.
Scary Terry, Wan'Dale Robinson, and a few others. But what I want to watch is these bonuses. We forgot about these contract bonuses, but look out. We're going to start to post a few of them. But there's a few of them that come into play, and I forgot to mention Hunter Henry in the Patriots. He needs a few more receptions for a lot of cash. Look out for Henry to get going. He's got about 250 to about 1.25 mil that he can earn from about 20 receptions between now and the end of the year.
Love it.
So keep your eyes on Hunter Henry.
Hell yeah.
Mate, I'm just going to tip the Commanders because
Zach Ertz as well out.
I just think that Debo and Scary Terry can get to work here. And Dart and the Giants, last time I watched them, I swear they threw the game. Remember that? They wouldn't go for a 4th and 1. I know you shouldn't
the Giants
say that.
Want the first pick, I
don't think Giants want to win. So I'm going Commanders. I reckon they might want to just rock back up. I think their coach would be like, we're not standing for that. So that's where I'm going. And Scary Terry, I like him to have a big game.
Yeah, I think you're going to be looking at the wide receivers a little bit too for the Giants. We know that Washington give up a bit in the secondary, so Wan'Dale Robinson might be an option there for you. Darius Slayton will be another one too. So I think they can open up the game that way a little bit as well.
Tight ends last week really ate up against the Commanders, so maybe look at the Giants tight ends and see what Jackson Dart can do there. But anyway, let's stop talking about that game. It's putrid. Raiders at Eagles. I don't want to talk about this for any longer than it needs to be, but Devontae Smith, I was filthy. I said he should just stay in the kitchen and juice all his fruit because he doesn't get a look in, and it makes me sick. I expect them to bounce back with him, and the Raiders are the perfect matchup. Same with Saquon. The one thing that I'll say that pissed me off with your mob, this is what pissed me off. Jalen Hurts is very safe with the ball.
Yes.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
Very conservative. But in the end, if you walk away, he throws 4 picks. He forces the ball to A.J. Brown, and he's got deep balls that are 50-50 balls that are probably going to be swatted away. I mean, if you watch the Chargers, Cooper DeJean on the lad, there was big explosive plays, but he just gets a hand in. Yeah. So they're not going to be picks. And Devontae Smith's out the back all the time, and he throws them under center. Even the one where A.J. Brown kind of plopped himself. Just if he waits a little bit longer, Devontae's behind him. I don't know why he's not going to him. And every time he does, except for the one that he telegraphed and he slipped, he makes a play. So
they're at their best when they're throwing the deeper ball.
Devontae Smith, explosive play. It's got to be this week, or it's just
they should bounce back and win this by 2 scores. To be honest, if they want to. Get serious and actually start to switch on.
This is a disaster matchup for the Raiders. And Pickett might actually... Pickett was at the Eagles, wasn't he? So he actually might know how to play against the defense a little bit. Right, Jets, Jags. Let's not spend too much time here, but this should be an easy one. Brian Thomas returned last week. Looked good with the pass game, but it was Myers that is his main target in the end zone. And ETN, he's pissing me off. I left him on the pine in the league. It doesn't matter. I'm not even in the playoffs, but... He exploded last week, and he did nothing the week before.
Yeah, he's got another good matchup because ever since they've got rid of Williams, the Jets, their run D has just gone off the charts. So ETN should be licking his lips for this one, and Jacoby Myers has been a huge addition for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and right now his line is only 51.5. So I'd be jumping on that one pretty comfortably because I think he's going to go well over that. He's been massive for him, and they should win this one really comfortably.
Let's go to the next game. Cardinals, Texans. Woody Marks, he missed Wednesday's practice due to a knee injury. I want to monitor that because if he's good to go, I just watched every running back for the Rams just gut them.
Eat him up. Absolutely eat him up. The Cardinals are probably fighting for that number 1 pick as well. It's just been a very, very long year for that organisation. They come up against the number one defence, and it doesn't look like it's going to get any easier. So the Texans should be in cruise control for this one.
Nico Collins, best bet.
Thank you.
Nico Collins, you're going to have a touchdown.
Absolutely.
It's just too easy. Puka Nakua, they just eat against wide receivers. And Wilson, if Harrison's not back, I mean, he's the main man. He has about 13 targets. So does McBride.
It's nuts.
You see McBride drop a tutty. That was...
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Your man. Texans, again, absolute lock this week. Yep. It's actually quite easy, but this isn't. This is where we get hot.
Yes.
Righto, Packers at Broncos.
Great. About time the Broncos get to a team that is going to challenge them. I can't wait for this one because I want to see how the Broncos go. If they win this game, all right, we can start considering them as potentially the real deal and can go all the way. Let's face it, they're out of their 11 wins. Yep, great win against Philly on the road. That's awesome. You're down by 2 scores and you get it done. But let's face it, right now, the schedule has been pretty good to them. Yes, they've been down, but they've played against teams that don't exactly know how to finish off games and win games of football. Green Bay Packers certainly know how to do that. And I'm excited for what they're going to be able to produce because he's coming up against a legitimate team that is great on defense. And their offense is just starting to come together. They had a couple of rough weeks there. Bad loss against the Panthers. But they're coming good. They're starting to get really explosive. And Jordan Loves is starting to show what he's more than capable of.
And that defense, Micah Parsons, he was complaining about running around. Jeez, Caleb Williams made him chase him all day. I like the Packers. I think it's in Denver. That's the only thing that excites probably Denver fans. I can't trust the Broncos offense as much as I can trust everything about Green Bay, special teams, defense, offense. It's just clicking a little bit more, I feel.
Yep.
And the last couple of games I've watched of the Broncos, it hasn't been as smooth.
No.
So we'll leave that there.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of players that'll have a good matchup here. I mean, you probably got to think.
I could see
Franklin was really he wasn't even involved. Bryant, it's a weird offense, the Broncos. So I don't like it.
I could definitely see it being more low scoring. There's two good defensive teams. I can definitely see it being like a 17-13 game and relatively close. Because they obviously are really, really strong on the defensive side of the game. But I mean, Broncos have options, almost too many to be honest. And that's what does make it a little bit interesting and tough.
The one player that I think will go over is Musgrave at the tight end position. I just think you can use the middle of the field against the Broncos. Zach Ertz did that a few weeks ago. I just think anyone that's in the middle of the field, maybe Dobbs. But I don't like Watson this week.
Watson being on the white.
With Satan, it's just an ugly matchup. So that's something I just wanted to let everyone out there. If you got him in fantasy, it's a tough decision. He's obviously coming off 2 tuds, but I'd be very scared to play him this week. And then Packers, I think you can run the ball with Jacobs. Actually, I think you can run the ball on the Broncos, and that's how they will do it. So, I think easy. And I actually think the Packers will win this game. Anyway, let's move on. Game of the week. We're going to keep saying game of the week on the ones that we think are unbelievable. But Lions at the Rams. High-powered offense v. high-powered offense. And I think about the Rams, I don't know how they're going to go stopping everything that's going on. Amon-Ra, you are Superman. You kind of cooked me call last week because I went hard on the Dallas. Like, you got to at least understand why I went hard. I thought that Philly could lose to Chargers. I thought Dallas could sneak a win without Amon-Ra. And they were missing a few other pieces. And all of a sudden, I see this clip pre-game with all our specials that we cooked up with Williams and whatnot. And Amon-Ra
Superman came out of nowhere.
Unbelievable. And he played unbelievable. So this is going to be box office. I'm looking for Gibbs. You're looking everywhere, really. And the guy that didn't score last week, which is really rare, Adams.
He's scoring this week.
He'll definitely score this week.
The Lions they're so stiff. Their secondary just keeps getting smashed. Brian Branch is one of their best safeties. They move him around everywhere. Torn Achilles.
Did he tear it?
Tear the Achilles. He's out for the rest of the year, and he is a pivotal part.
His favorite player.
He is a pivotal part to that defense of the Detroit Lions, and you come up against the best team in the NFL, in my opinion, right now, in the Rams, and you make it awfully tough. When you're just losing your best player on defense besides Hutchinson. So if Detroit want to stay in this game, their offense was going to have to score points, which we know they're capable of. And I just see this going back and forth. I can just see this going back and forth. But Puka Nakua, almost put him there for 150 again. Devontae Adams, 60 or 70, couple of tutties. And this one is going to be exciting. I can't wait to watch this one.
Yeah, I can't wait either. I think, Williams might bounce back a bit more. And I mean, not bounce back. He had a big game. They're just explosive players everywhere. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna lean to the Rams.
Yep, I am too.
Everyone's talking Rams. I just think they're at home and they've got more depth and their defense doesn't have injuries like Detroit. So that secondary, I think it's going to hurt them. And then the run game, like Kyron Williams, he was rested last week. They know what's coming. So he'll get a bit more ball, but to be fascinating to see what they do, these two coaches.
Agreed.
I'd love to know anyone out there that's watching this on YouTube or listening to this to just write in who they think is going to win this one, because I'd be amazed if you confidently can tip the Lions. But if the Lions win this one, then I'm actually going to – it's almost impossible to guess who's going to be winning this NFC. It's unbelievable.
And the Detroit Lions need to win this game, because if they don't, I actually think they put themselves in trouble of not making the playoffs. So there's a bit to it. There is. All
right, let's go. Let's fly. There's 5 games to go. As we said, every single 16 games. It's actually going to be Christmas this week. There's so many games. But Panthers at Saints. Did the Panthers lose to the Saints earlier in the year? Can we check that? I just have to check. I think they did. They lost to them after they beat Green Bay, is my memory. So I think they can bounce back in a strong way. They're fresh, and the Saints coming off a win. Panthers $1.65. The Panthers are so much better. 7-6 versus a 3-10 team. Yes, New Orleans are at home, but that is incorrect. So that is the play of the week for me. They have to win the Panthers, and they're in a position where momentum's flying. They've beaten the Rams. They've beaten Green Bay. They had a stinker against the Niners and New Orleans. They're the hardest team to predict. But off the bye fresh, plenty of planning, and a really hard-fought game last week with Bucks and Saints. I think they can steamroll the New Orleans Saints.
Yep. Great call, Tommy. I don't have anything else to add to that one. I think that is the way it should go for them if they want to be considered an option to take out the NFC. But they are the team in form right now in the NFC South.
Niners, Titans. This one's at the Niners. The Titans show me that you can do anything you want to them. And if Sanders puts up 360 and rushes one in and throws 3, I just think that they're going to have their way here. And I'm looking. Is it Pearsall? Is it Jennings? Is it Kittle? Is it McCaffrey? It's probably all of them. I just think this is going to be a really dominant affair from the Niners. And can we see a couple of tuds from Ward? I think we might. But I've been wrong before. I mean, imagine the Titans beat the Niners, and I'm going Niners easy. Because I've been off the Niners for 8 weeks straight. I'd be amazed. But I just think we should move on here because it's just too easy to predict.
I think so. I think the Niners are going to be crushing it, and McCaffrey's going to have an absolute field day.
10-4, a great week to have him in fantasy. Colts at Seahawks. Right, the Phillip Rivers return. I don't know why I'm so excited, but
I don't know why either. I think it could be really ugly.
Guess who's going to be there?
Our boy
Morgs.
That's great.
Be there. Can I tell you a funny story?
Please do.
I said, Morgs, you've been unbelievable this year. So here's a couple of presents. And I want you to look after the team at Seahawks. They're amazing to us when we're there. So please give them a couple of pairs of Ricks. I sorted him out and I said, who's your favourite player? Who's your favourite player? And he said, mate, Darnold. So I've gone and got myself a jersey online. And I only saw the front of it. It's come to my house. I've sent it to him last night. He sent me a photo. Guess who's on the back? DK Metcalf.
The number 14. So he's stitched him up a beauty.
So he's going to be rolling around with. He's
love that.
He's put the tape on the back.
What would even be better is has he got the tape on? Yes, I love that. He's
going to wear it to the Colts game.
That's even better.
He's given his missus the Jackson Smith the jigba, and he's going to roll around with the 14 with Darnold.
Terrific. That is awesome.
I'm looking forward to seeing him. I think this is an absolute fill up for JSN.
Oh, I think so too.
And I just want to see what Phillip Rivers can do. How many yards does he pass and how many touchdowns does he throw?
He probably gets 200.
Does he get 200?
I reckon he gets the 200. I would love to see what his odds are right now. That actually points bet might even up yet. We might have to have a look, but I reckon he gets there.
Yeah,
I reckon he gets there.
We'll do a special.
Phillip Rivers special.
And we'll get Morgs on the line. Shaheed last week.
So good. About time.
It was
just opened up their offense
special
so
teams
badly,
touchdown,
though, didn't
though,
it? Like, just opened them up
We
massively.
had the 33-yard catch.
Yep.
We went to deep ball with him. We
Yep.
ticked that, but it wasn't as big as it wasn't what I planned. A return touchdown and then obviously a catch.
So good.
But he's starting to be used in the offense.
Yeah.
Let's move on, mate. Seahawks are both of us. Vikings at Cowboys and then Dolphins Steelers. These are the two primetime games. I'm really excited to watch Jefferson. CD Lamb concussion.
Yeah.
Is he playing?
I don't know. It looked bad, man. It looked really, really bad. I reckon I would not be surprised if he doesn't get up. Yeah.
Yep. Last leg was CD Lamb touchdown.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I didn't know he. It did look bad when they don't get up. It's like
when his hands go in like that,
couldn't tell with
the fingers went in a bit. It was a bit, it wasn't great.
And thoughts on Pickens last week?
What's
your thoughts?
I don't know. I'm just hoping it's a one-off, but he has that. He has that in him. It's a no care factor at times that it looks to be that way. And he's too good of a player to be doing that at any time. And that's the thing that's hindered him from being a really, really, really like dominant player. But hopefully he bounces back and it's only just a one-off thing.
Are you concerned if Lamb doesn't play that this could be hard for the Dallas? Because I need Dallas to win for my silly call.
I know. I think it does make it tough because that Minnesota defense is very good.
Seahawks bullied them 2 weeks ago, though.
They did. I'm hoping that Pickens can find a way. Ferguson's obviously been really good for him. The run game's been going really strong, but Minnesota's defense is certainly holding up reasonably well for the most part.
Just got a little text here from DT in studio. So Panthers 7, New Orleans 17 the last time they played each other. So I was correct on that one. And that's an ugly display.
That's an ugly display.
Let's keep moving. One thing I will say is Justin Jefferson. We're going to do something on the hub.
Yeah,
it has a perfect. Here's a perfect.
It's a great matchup for him. It is.
It's the best matchup of the year.
It's got to work.
It's the best matchup of the year.
Yep.
Run D, no good. They're playing at Dallas, which is in a stadium. It's prime time. And JJ's had 15 yards in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He's going for 100.
He has to.
It's the big 100 club for me.
Yep.
And Pickens probably needs to get... it's probably a Ferguson game as well. Yep. All right, Dolphins, Steelers. Let's not... Roger Goodell, you move Ravens and Pats next week. Why don't you move this one? Yeah. This is horrific. I'll be going for the Dolphins, clearly. The Dolphins have been quietly good the last month.
They have been. Davion A-Chain will be the interesting one. Ribs went out of the game last week, so that will be close. He's looking like more so not playing. So that's going to be a big loss for him. That obviously puts it a little bit more in probably the Steelers' favor, to be honest, because their run game is completely different without that man in the backfield. So that tightens it up a little bit. Steelers keep finding ways to get it done. DK Metcalf just got himself out of hospital as well with a little stomach issue, so that's going to be interesting as well. So I don't really know which way to go. I'm really not too sure. Maybe a Waddle game. Maybe a Jalen Waddle game. The secondary. Flowers had a decent game. Waddle's, probably got a little more to him in terms of some routes and that he can expose, I think, a little bit better. And give himself a bit more opportunity. So I would be still leaning towards a Waddle game and getting involved there.
I saw on the internet that the Dolphins have a 1% chance of making it. They need to win out and they need all these kind of things to happen. And you look at it, and I was like, if you're a Dolphins fan, you should have $5 on all those scenarios because it is a chance, and the way it would add up to something stupid. But we have seen silly things happen before.
And they've got the same record as your Ravens right now, and that's hard to believe. That is really, really hard to believe. But they're there. It's crazy.
It's crazy. Well, this week's going to be crazy. To anyone that's in their fantasy league and they're still alive, congratulations. This is the week you want. You've got all teams back off bye. You've got some great matchups. You've got some tough matchups, and I think a lot of people who have Justin Jefferson are probably sitting there. If they've made playoffs, well, guess what? You might have timed it to perfection because he gets an amazing matchup. I'm looking forward to seeing all these games. I think the one that I'm most excited about personally is obviously my boys. But outside of my boys, I think that Rams-Detroit game and also the Broncos and Green Bay, but I just don't think the Green Bay Broncos game will be as exciting to watch. I just think the Rams Detroit Lions game, they probably should have bumped that up to prime time. If I'm honest with you, there, Roger Goodell.
Yep.
But that is going to be super exciting, and we're giving away a $100 voucher to shop online at the NFL shop. All you got to do is guess Bijan Robinson's rushing yards and in brackets his longest rush in case it's the tie on Instagram. So make sure you get around that. We've thoroughly enjoyed this one. We hope you have too. It's really heating up, Sip. It's heating up. So huge week. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll circle back next week and let's listen to the potty next week, Sip, and see what we said and what we said well. So, all right. Merry Christmas. See you next week.
You got hands like buckets.
The NBA is back. And to celebrate at PointsBet, place a head-to-head bet on the Lakers versus Warriors. And if your team scores the first basket, you win. That's right. Your team scores first, get paid out early. See your account for personalized max stake limit. PointsBet. It's like hot sauce, but for basketball. Yeah, that's built different. Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.